All right, so this is a review of Chaos Walking. This is the it's a it's based on a YA novel. It came out earlier this year. There was some production issues, I guess. There's also some reshoots. It's been delayed a few times, and I think it might have released in theaters for a little while, but now it's just like on VOD, and yeah, it's not good. Apparently, there was a test screening, and that I guess that version of the movie, that cut of the movie, was deemed unreleasable. So yeah, there's some issues, and I did not like it. I thought it was bad. It's directed by Doug Liman. It's based on a book written by Patrick Ness, The Knife of Never Letting Go, which is a terrible title, and I don't even know why, because the knife, there's nothing really significant about a knife in this. Tom Holland plays Todd. He lives in it's a different planet. It's not Earth, even though it just looks like they're just running through the woods. He lives in a place where on this planet, really, all the men, their thoughts, and they call it noise, is just kind of like projected, so you can hear their thoughts. And then it can also be like a projection where you can also see their thoughts, whether it be their dreams or their memories. And he's also kind of good at controlling it, where like if he keeps repeating his name, Todd Hewitt, Todd Hewitt, Todd Hewitt, he could potentially keep people from hearing certain things about his thoughts that he doesn't want people to hear. Daisy Ridley plays Viola. She crash lands on the planet, and so she's trying to find a way to get to a spaceship to send out a signal to the other ship, so that they can come and pick her up. That's a thing. And then Mads Mikkelsen, he plays Mayor Prentice. He's the mayor of the settlement that Todd's on, and there's some things to be revealed with him that I won't spoil. But yeah, it's really just them, trying to get to that spaceship so that she can potentially get off the planet. Positives, I thought the noise, the thoughts thing is actually pretty creative in a few points. I still had plenty of issues with it, but it definitely feels like a gimmick. But there were moments where it was actually pretty interesting. Like, you can see their dreams and stuff like that, like I said. But there's also parts where Tom Holland, he's jumping on something, and he almost misses it and falls. So there's a projection of himself where he actually falls. So because he actually thought he was going to, which I thought that was kind of cool. He eats something that he thinks might be poisonous. So there's a projection of him that's like choking on it and like dying because it was poisonous, because he thought it might be. There's a scene where he kisses Daisy Ridley's character Viola, and you hear a voice, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And it's just it's a projection of her, and it just like disappears because it was in his head. That kind of stuff is kind of interesting. You can actually like have one that's so vivid that it actually looks like a real person, and it kind of tricks somebody. So that worked sometimes. This movie is not good by any means. It's boring because it's mostly just them walking through the woods. The acting for the most part is pretty bad. Nick Jonas plays a character in this, and he's barely in the movie really, other than the beginning, and he's pretty wooden and not very good, and his character's written pretty badly. Daisy Ridley's pretty bad in this too. She just kind of has her eyes wide open and looks confused for most of it. Even though she can talk, like she's just like a normal person. It's not that she lost her memories or something like that. No, she remembers crashing in that crashing in the ship. She acts so weird, and I guess that's just maybe that's the direction or whatever. But it's not, and that's how the character is written. But it makes no sense in this movie at all for her character. This movie just mainly was either silly because you have the thoughts and like they're different colors and they're just always around them, like some weird fart cloud around them, or it's annoying because the characters are just the characters are just kind of saying things, like, so you can hear their thoughts, so it's a lot of like randomness just kind of being said out loud. Like she says, "My name is Viola," and he's like, "Viola, Viola, Viola, Viola." A lot of his thoughts are just to like simp for her, really. "Oh, I don't want her to leave. Oh, blonde, she's blonde, blonde hair, blonde hair." Blonde wig is what he meant. Blonde hair, Viola, Viola, Viola. "Well, she's pretty, she's pretty, she's pretty." It's just, it gets so annoying after a while. And then one of my main issues is that it's inconsistent. Like sometimes they can hide their thoughts from each other, sometimes they can't. Sometimes it's fully realized to where it tricks people into thinking it's real, and sometimes it's just like a projection that you can obviously tell isn't really there. Sometimes it's this color, this color, this color. I can't really distinguish why sometimes it's one color, sometimes it's not. The other people that are chasing after them just like always have like a purple cloud around them. Why is it purple? I don't know. You know, it's just, can you hide your thoughts away from each other? Can you not? It seems like it's all based on what the plot wants at that time, pretty much, with that aspect of it. It's not it's not good. It's not good. A character gets has a knife given to him, and he's about to stab somebody with it that's standing behind him. Right? Does somebody slip you a knife to stab someone, and you don't think knife? There's plenty of parts in this movie where they're just kind of sitting there, and there's no thoughts coming out of Tom Holland's head. Is there ever a point where for multiple minutes there's just nothing going on in your head? Probably not. So that's also inconsistent in this movie. But there's one big thing that really upset me. There's a big reveal, and it has to do with the women that were in the settlement, like his mom and stuff like that. There's a big reveal with that. How, because everybody knows about it but him, how does that get hidden? Such a big thing. Nobody slips up and thinks about it in front of him, right? It doesn't make any sense. Like at first I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting, but then I'm like, there's no way. So there's also like a thing with like this alien, well, not aliens because that's their planet technically. There's other species there. You only see it once. The CG looks terrible, and it's just you could any other scene you would think that that didn't exist at all because you only see it once and it looks terrible. I guess that's to save money on the effects. Anyway, this is a bad movie. Yeah, this doesn't work, man. This is easily the worst movie I've seen this year. It doesn't feel like it was even. It doesn't feel like it was supposed to be in a theater at all. Really, it feels like some direct DVD like trash. But regardless, yeah, it's got pretty low. I think what does it have on? It's got a 38 on Metacritic. But yeah, it's pretty awful, and it's the worst movie at least that I've seen this year. I'm gonna give it a complete shit because it's really pointless, especially by the end when we've gone through all this to try to get to this area and do this thing, and it's just like, nope, we're actually not gonna do that. Like, what? She's actually not gonna do that thing. It's like, okay, whatever. It grew on her. Fine. This is bad, and it was by the end of it I feel like I definitely wasted an hour and 40 minutes of my life. I mean, most of it is just walking and running through the woods with two actors that are not really doing that well, and they don't have any chemistry. But anyway, that's Chaos Walking, and that's it. Subscribe and all that other stuff, and we're done.